Adios.
We just saw Sicario, Day of the Soldado.
This year is the year of unneeded sequels. You got Incredibles, you got Jurassic, and now you got Sicario. The first Sicario was an amazing movie. It was complete. It was a complete package. It said everything it needed to say, right? There was no true need for this movie. But that being said, this movie surprised me, and I think Reece too. It was competent. It did its job. It was actually pretty decent. I enjoyed my time with this movie.
The movie was decently replicated in the style of the first one. The director didn't try to make it his own movie. He respected what Denis was doing and work that Roger Deakins did. A lot of the same style. You could see the style, a lot of the same exact shots, the same camera tricks, and that's not upsetting. I'd rather it look more like the first one.
It feels like Sicario. It feels like a sequel to Sicario when Roger Deakins is gone. Denis, Lord and Savior, he's gone. But it still feels like Sicario. It still retains that grit, you know, that gritty realism, the darkness of it. And the script is pretty solid.
It's the same writer from the first movie, Taylor something, and that's it. He's the only returning factor along with Josh Brolin and Benicio del Toro.
This is Brolin's year. He's been in so many fucking movies, all of these big bangers, you know.
Del Toro had more character development in this movie than I'd say Brolin did. It's not problematic. I mean, you like the characters for they are. This isn't really a movie, since it was a needless sequel, where you need to focus on character development, but in the aspect of it, Del Toro definitely had more development than Brolin did.
The other two main characters are two child actors. There's a guy and a girl. The guy is, pretty stupid, and I didn't really like him. The girl, she was pretty stupid at the very beginning. I hated her, but then you like her a lot near the end of the movie. You actually feel bad for her in a sense. It felt like copy and paste. Let's take the original stuff, all the stuff we can copy it, paste it, and then here's a script. Put it in there. Put it on there you go.
I really enjoyed the music from the first one. Johan Johansson did a great job. This movie obviously didn't have him either, but like Ivo said, it literally sounds like they just took the audio file from the first movie with the music and just put it in this one and just hit play. A feeling that I have from the first one is a constant feeling of tension. Even when they're just sitting in a bar talking, like there's always just something going on, and that's because of one, obviously the acting and the writing, but two is the score. That underlying sound you always hear. That I didn't have that feeling of tension in this movie, even though it had more moments of action than the first one did.
When you have a director trying to mimic another director's style, it just becomes kind of lackluster. Like, he does a great job, this guy Stefano, whatever. It's directed competently enough. It's a good film directing wise, but you can tell he just didn't want to step too much out of the boundaries, and I understand that, but it just makes the sequel feel it just kind of exists, you know? You're not gonna remember this movie as much as you remember the first Sicario. And the biggest fucking problem I have with this movie is the ending. The ending of this movie, the climax was great up until like the last 15 minutes. Like, it was so shoehorned and stupid, and it was just like a setup to another sequel or something. I don't know what the fuck they were trying to do there.
The ending just completely rammed the train off the rails on this one, and it just kind of fucked everything over. Like the first one, it closed the story.
You're done.
Nothing needed to happen,
You're
but this
good.
one, it sets it up for the next movie in just the most unsubtle and annoying way. Unneeded, unwanted,
Shoehorned,
unwarranted, un-everything.
It really hurts the entire movie when the ending of the movie is so piss poor, fucking shit, poopy fart. Like, they had a point where they could actually end it. It would have been like, that's a good ending. What Reece is saying with the tension, it doesn't feel as impactful. It's good action, it's good shootouts, good blood, good violence, but it doesn't feel as earned as the previous movie, because it just doesn't, it goes back to directing, all right? It's just directing. It just doesn't have the same kind of nuance that the original had.
It's a really murky situation to, get into and what's right, what's wrong, but in the end, the first one's just better.
Rating time. I'm giving this a 7 out of 10. You know, it does its job. They only made this movie because the first one did so well. But that being said, it's definitely one of the best needless sequels I've seen in recent memory, and it's competent enough to where you will enjoy it. And even though the ending is really shite, I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with the third one. Is it gonna be the same director, or is it gonna be a fucking trilogy with different directors? Who fucking knows? If you're a fan of the first Sicario, go watch it. You know, it has a recommendation. You should watch it. It's not a bad movie.
I'm gonna give this movie, like it was said, a 7.
Agreement!
As soon as this movie ended and the credits started rolling, in my head I was like, it's a 7. It did what it set out to do and basically just replicate the first one with a new story. And that's really what it was. It didn't hit home as hard, obviously. It's a 7. You'll like it, but it's not as good as the first one. I'll buy it though.
That's it. 7's all around here. We're going to 7-Eleven after this.
Gotta get some 7-Up.
Let us know what you thought about this movie. Did you like the first Sicario? Because we did a lot. It was a good movie. My dad loves Sicario. I'll see you later. It's so fucking hot, dude. Jesus. Damn you, God! I'll switch.